66 million years ago, Earth was a world unlike any other in its history, a planet overflowing with life, color, and motion. Immense forests stretching across millions of square kilometers, interlaced with vast plains and winding rivers, created a mosaic of habitats that teemed with a diversity of creatures. In these forests, gigantic sauropods moved in slow, majestic herds, their enormous bodies swaying rhythmically as they grazed on the abundant vegetation. They were towering mountains of muscle and bone, capable of felling entire trees with a swipe of their tails or the sheer force of their massive necks. Nearby, smaller herbivorous dinosaurs scurried through the undergrowth, feeding on shrubs and ferns, constantly alert to the shadows cast by predators above. Before we continue, if you're fascinated by stories of our planet's past and the mysteries of the universe, remember to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Now, let's return to the age of the dinosaurs. The skies above were filled with bird-like dinosaurs and flying reptiles, their wings casting fleeting shadows on the ground below as they hunted, scavenged, or migrated across continents. In the oceans, marine reptiles such as mosasaurs and plesiosaurs ruled supreme, their streamlined bodies cutting through the water with lethal precision, hunting schools of ancient fish and cephalopods. Each ecosystem on Earth was intricately connected, forming a delicate balance maintained over millions of years. Predators and prey existed in a constant dance, one that defined the natural order of the planet. Even the smallest creatures played their part. Insects pollinated plants, small mammals scavenged, and the microbial world broke down organic matter, silently sustaining life at the microscopic level. Despite this apparent stability, the universe had prepared a cataclysm that no living creature could anticipate. Far away in the cold vacuum of space, a massive asteroid was traveling at unimaginable speed, racing toward Earth. Measuring nearly 10 kilometers in diameter, it was a mountain-sized body, scarred with ancient craters from millennia of collisions with other celestial objects. Its velocity was staggering tens of kilometers per second, moving silently but inexorably through the void. To the life forms on Earth, it was invisible, undetectable, and yet its presence heralded destruction on a scale no being had ever witnessed. As the asteroid entered Earth's atmosphere, friction and compression ignited its surface, turning it into a blazing fireball streaking across the sky. A heat wave and shock wave of pressure raced ahead of it, invisible yet deadly. Dinosaurs, unaware of the impending disaster, continued their routines, grazing, hunting, or resting in the shadows of towering ferns and coniferous trees. The sky above glowed with ominous reds and oranges, a fiery warning of the cosmic force descending toward the planet. Scientists today simulate these moments, estimating that the energy released by this single asteroid impact would equal billions of atomic bombs detonating simultaneously. The consequences would not be isolated to the point of impact. The asteroid's arrival set off a chain reaction of catastrophic events across the globe. Even before the collision, the asteroid influenced Earth's systems. Gravitational perturbations caused subtle shifts in tectonic plates and ocean currents. Winds swirled unpredictably, and localized storms erupted as the asteroid approached. Every second brought the planet closer to annihilation, yet to the creatures below, life appeared unchanged. The dinosaurs, majestic and oblivious, moved through landscapes that were about to be transformed beyond recognition. This juxtaposition, the serene continuity of life against the unstoppable advance of cosmic destruction, marked the final moments of the Mesozoic era. When the asteroid finally struck, the effects were immediate and global. The impact unleashed energy that shook the planet from pole to pole. Oceans boiled and erupted into colossal tsunamis, with walls of water hundreds of meters high racing across continents, annihilating everything in their path. Forests ignited instantly from the heat and pressure, creating massive firestorms that engulfed millions of hectares. The atmosphere filled with dust, ash, and aerosols, forming an opaque layer that blotted out sunlight for months. Global temperatures plummeted, triggering what scientists call an impact winter. Plants could no longer photosynthesize, and entire food chains collapsed. Herbivores starved without access to vegetation, and carnivores found themselves without prey. Even the most adaptable predators could not survive in this radically altered environment. The destruction was not limited to terrestrial landscapes. Marine ecosystems faced catastrophic disturbances as well. Sudden changes in ocean temperature and massive waves disrupted food chains in coastal and open ocean environments. Reefs were shattered, aquatic plants died, and many marine species vanished entirely. Volcanic activity, possibly triggered by seismic shock waves from the impact, further compounded the global crisis. Earth's crust cracked under the immense pressure, leading to eruptions and earthquakes that destabilized the planet further. In mere hours, a world that had flourished for millions of years became a landscape of fire, flood, and darkness. Dinosaurs, the rulers of the planet for over 160 million years, were especially vulnerable. Massive sauropods, despite their size and strength, could not find enough food to survive the environmental collapse. Carnivorous theropods, once apex hunters, wandered empty forests in search of prey that no longer existed. Smaller dinosaurs fared no better. Without sufficient vegetation or prey, survival was impossible. Only the smallest mammals, some reptiles, and a few hardy organisms managed to endure, often by burrowing or hiding in microhabitats, shielded from the worst effects. Yet survival was temporary. The new environment was inhospitable. Acid rain fell from the sky. Prolonged darkness limited photosynthesis, and cold temperatures spread across the globe. Even the most resilient survivors faced a harsh and unfamiliar world, a world in which evolution would have to work at an accelerated pace if life was to persist. The asteroid's impact also produced enormous seismic forces, triggering earthquakes and landslides on a massive scale. Shock waves radiated through the crust, destabilizing entire regions and activating dormant volcanoes. These volcanic eruptions spewed additional ash and gases into the already darkened atmosphere, amplifying the effects of the impact winter. The scale of destruction was unlike anything before or since. The cumulative effect was catastrophic, affecting every biome on the planet. Fossil records confirm that this chain of events led directly to the mass extinction known as the Cretaceous-Paleogene (KPG) event, one of the most profound episodes of ecological collapse in Earth's history. Millions of years of evolutionary dominance were erased in mere hours, leaving Earth eerily silent in the wake of chaos. Amidst this desolation, life did not vanish entirely. Pockets of survivors, small mammals, resilient reptiles, and hardy plants managed to endure in isolated refuges. Over time, these survivors became the foundation for a new chapter in Earth's evolutionary story. Plants slowly recolonized scorched forests. Rivers carved new paths through the altered landscapes, and ecosystems began to recover. Mammals, once small and inconspicuous, began occupying ecological niches left vacant by the dinosaurs. Over millions of years, evolution gave rise to entirely new species and complex food webs that would eventually shape the modern world. The Earth itself, though forever changed, demonstrated its resilience, proving that life, while fragile, can endure even the most catastrophic events. The asteroid impact also serves as a stark reminder of the fragility of life on Earth and the vulnerability of even the most dominant species to forces beyond their control. Dinosaurs, creatures that had survived multiple mass extinctions and environmental changes over millions of years, could not withstand the combination of fire, flood, darkness, and cold brought about by a single cosmic event. The planet, once a thriving hub of life, experienced a complete ecological reset, forcing survivors to adapt or perish. The story of the asteroid and the dinosaurs is more than a tale of death. It is also a story of resilience, adaptation, and the enduring persistence of life in the face of unimaginable adversity. It is a reminder that evolution is not linear, that dominance is temporary, and that the forces of the universe are both beautiful and terrifying in their power.